All righty. I'll let it go for a couple of seconds. There we go. Let me mute myself. All right. Guys, we are talking about selling temples and these modern day harlots. Um, and as I was thinking about this conversation, I had to say a prayer. I was like, Lord, I want to be able to handle this conversation with empathy. I want to be able to convey the message that people need to hear, and I don't want to be inspired by my own judgments when I'm talking about this particular topics. So we are going to be talking about Lily Phillips, who was the young lady who decided as an OnlyFans level up that she would sleep with 100 men in one day. And she actually agreed to do a documentary, a mini documentary, I guess, documenting her experience during doing this particular task. Now, before we get into this documentary, because we're going to kind of piece it up and just kind of talk about just some of the just obviously mentally ill satanic spiritedness behind this stunt this young lady do has decided to do, but there's also a deeper meaning here, you guys. There's a lot of things going on in this world that people, most normal people who have some sense of moral compass, even if you're not a religious person, there are a lot of non religious people who still have a sense of a moral compass, right? There are certain things that if it doesn't sit right with their soul, they don't want to be a part of it, right? And that's really where the moral compass come in. How are you doing? Is it Curvin? How are you? So there are a lot of people who can look at things and say, you know what, this is not for me. This does not float my boat, right? Because we live in a world where people, hey, whatever floats your boat, right? That's been a saying for a long time. Whatever floats your boat, right? So, I mean, and this is really absolving people of their responsibility to have a personal moral compass. But the person who is saying that is really kind of dissolving themselves of agreeing with, per se, what that person is thinking about doing, right? So before I get into this documentary, right, we got to put God's word on this, right? Because again, we got to understand Satan's world, and we got to understand how people are operating, why people are operating the way that they do, because we see that societies worldwide have degraded, right? The moral value, the moral compass of societies have degraded, and we really do live in a world where promoting the ideal of doing what thou willst is the way of being for a lot of people, especially people who have money and power, right? And even people, and a lot of times the power, like we talk about the five social values, beauty is actually a power, right? It's a power because you can get money with your beauty if you choose to leverage your beauty like that, right? So Lily Phillips, this girl out in the UK, this OnlyFans chick, she is somebody who has understand most OnlyFans model understand that beauty is a value in society. People will pay for beauty. They will pay to be in the company of a woman that they perceive to be highly beautiful. And if that woman is putting herself out there and saying, hey, my company is for sale, right? It becomes a commodity. All right. So let's go. We're going to read 2 Timothy 3 1 through 5, and then we're going to get into this documentary, right? Because these women are out here selling their temples. But when I look at this young lady, Lily, I don't see a person who I see a person that has been conditioned into this lifestyle. She actually says a few things throughout her interview with this guy that leads me to believe that her parents are not as, they want to paint her parents as futurists, but really her parents are low moral value people, and they did not teach Lily to have high moral values. They probably were one of those satanic household who claimed to believe in Jesus, because she said Jesus Christ a couple of times, right? So there was a form of belief system in this girl, Lily. Somebody taught her Jesus, somebody taught her Christ, right? Because she mentions his name as she's in her moment of shame after she does this shameful thing, right? But Second Timothy 3 1 through 5 says, "But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self control, brutal, not lovers of good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godly devotion but denying its power, have nothing to do with such people." Okay? So, real believers, we are admonished to stay away from people like this, right? These are toxic, sinful people, right? These do as thou wilt people. They are toxic, they are sinful, and they are riddled with a satanic spirit. Okay? So here you have this lady, Lily, and shot out, what is this young man's name? Josh Pieters. Okay? Josh is the guy who is doing this documentary with this young lady. He's interviewing her up to a month before she decides to do her sleeping with the OnlyFans 100 men for her OnlyFans account. Okay. And there's a lady in this documentary. Josh ends up talking to another OnlyFans model who is more opposed to what this person is doing, OnlyFans performer. I don't know what you call these women. They're just harlots showing their body, sexualizing for money. But he interviews her and she says that what Lily is doing is dangerous, and she hopes that this is not the evolution of OnlyFans, which I believe it is, because people are going to be looking at how much money Lily is making doing these extreme sexual things. And there's going to be women out there that's like, why should I work a 9 to 5 when I can be out here tricking my body? I'm out here giving it for free anyways to these guys anyways. So I might as well profit from it. And this is her rationality, right? This woman is beautiful, but she obviously has very low self-esteem. And it's apparent to me that this woman was conditioned to be like this. And again, I've spoke about these parents who traffic their children. These are high elite people who look at their children as commodities to sell. They understand that there is a market to sexualize children very young and then make them basically prostitutes to the pleasures of certain people. And it sounds like she's not coming out and saying this, but she's saying it in very colorful ways. And it's like you got to read between the line. Lily looks like somebody who has been sex trafficked all her life, and all she knows is being a pleasure rag and pleasure object for men, right? And I talked about these elite sex trafficking rings before, right? This Diddy stuff, that's not new. Epstein, this is not new. These people are doing this at very different institutional level. Judges, lawyers. This woman talked about how she was trafficked to very high profile politician type people, right? I do believe that Lily has had the same grooming, right? And so as we as rational people are looking at this young lady, right, and we're thinking that she's crazy, this is horror behavior, this is slut. I'm really kind of taking more of a, this is a sex trafficked person that's been trafficked all their life. They've been programmed to believe that this is okay, but even their human consciousness, it eats up at them. And I think we're going to see this throughout this documentary. So here we go. Ohio State football is trash. I don't know. I'm from Michigan, so we don't have nothing to do with Ohio State football. These women out here selling her tears. And yeah, this woman actually, she was crying. I guess she was like very confident. She was kind of selling it as something very normal. And then after it all, I feel you could see the shame on her face, right? I do believe somebody is profiting off of this woman. She has a team of 9 people who are just excited about this production, right? This woman is a vessel for making money for somebody, and she knows this. She knows that she has to do this. So when they say Lily's going to sleep without 1,000 men, right? They know how profitable that is going to be, because even Lily just talking about she's going to sleep with 100 men in one day is a profit cash cow. Her vagina is a cash cow, and they don't care about how it's going to make Lily feel or her body. They are basically siphoning her to make this money. Somebody is controlling this girl. Lily does have a handler. I do believe that Lily has a handler, and she is really being made to do a lot of this stuff. This doesn't look like a whore that's confident in what she's doing. This looks like a woman that is, oh, I'm just doing it. I accept it. Like everything about this woman's demeanor in this documentary screams that maybe she is a victim in some way that she can't really explain it. So she has to placate like she's okay with it and it's normal. So let's go.
Yeah?
Yes, yeah.
So how many people are there in Team Lily?
8, 9?
There's 9.
I don't know. Yeah, quite a...
I think we're on 9 now.
Yeah, 9 now. Yeah.
9 payroll members of staff.
Yeah.
You are a businesswoman. I've seen
She's
you
a
on
commodity.
podcasts and things before that your family and your parents are proud of you and what you've achieved.
Well, my parents knew straight from the start, like, about what I was doing. Yeah, I was just very open with it. Obviously,
that was the first red flag to me. Her parents knew from the start. They were okay with it. They didn't care about if it would embarrass them in front of anybody, right? Because I personally believe that her parents ain't shit either. I think that they're very wealthy, weird, elite people, and they don't mind prostituting their daughters. Like that, it's a profit house, especially if you have a beautiful daughter like Lily, right? If she was, unfortunately, and I say if, she was born in one of those elite sex trafficking type of families, unfortunately, right, Lily, she's a victim of her parents, probably. It sounds like to me.
at the start, they were a bit apprehensive because they want me to be safe and
Yeah.
they want me to make good decisions and stuff like that. I just think I can't hold myself back and do something that I'm scared what other people might think.
Your parents must be very sort of forward-thinking and open-minded, which is great, because I think if I told my parents that I was the UK's biggest cum, they probably they wouldn't like that. Show me the set.
No, of course, the set where the magic happens.
What's this?
I was trying to train my dog how to use it to like get so she needs.
Oh, so that's not for.
No, it's not for like.
All right, so she takes him through the journey of all her little toys. Now, what was crazy to me, and I'm skipping past this part, is this bitch had a construction cone dildo. Like, so this woman's vagina is probably as wide as Manhattan, as much as they are probably putting in it. But she's showing it off like, yeah, I can get something like this and up in there. Like, this woman can't have nobody's kids. She probably all destroyed up inside. She's probably all destroyed inside. You could probably put the Brooklyn Bridge up in her ass. But I'm going back because the dialogue conversation.
When you get home.
So far, is this a normal day in the life of Lily Phillips?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm going to go home now, do some content and stuff like that. I'll show you how I go about just filming day to day.
How much does it cost per minute?
300 for 5 minutes, and then 500 for 10 minutes.
Wow.
So 300 for 5 minutes.
What taxi was.
Oh, yeah.
$8.
And can you give us like any indication as to what a more recent month might look like?
I'll just show you.
Buying a Ferrari.
I'll show you my first month. $13,338.
And can you give us like any indication as to what a more recent month might look like?
I'll just show you. I don't really want to say if that's okay.
I think it's more money than you might be imagining.
So just her first month was 13,000, right? So you can imagine that Lily is probably making over $100,000 doing her horror content, her pornographic content. And I mean, I even hear that people in the porn industry are not really, this is gross for them, right? Because as you kind of learn more in the documentary, the safe sex, I guess, rules in the porn industry has like definitely increased over the decades because obviously spreading diseases and making sure that these people are safe, when they're engaging in, their, demonstration of debauchery. But this woman is going to have sex with 100 men, very loosely vetted. Some of them, as you go through this documentary, you discover that a lot of men ended up canceling on her, right? A lot of men had second thoughts, decided to cancel, right? So they were scrambling to find other men to replace them. So at the last minute, like this dude was like, I can't come, but my friend can come. So they're like, yeah, bring your friend, right? Let your friend come, right? So at this point, the safety parameters for this person not spreading disease, which this is definitely a disease. This is a super spreader event. I'm going to echo Abba and preach on this. This is a super spreader event, right? Because these men, even she acknowledges, oh, well, they could have lied. They could have slept with 10 girls afterwards. So this woman obviously is disassociated from the self-harm that's really happening here. To me, I think she's trying to beat world records, but this is self-harm being paid for. People are paying for this woman to literally harm herself in this manner for entertainment. It's really sad. You said, what am I watching? I'm watching, go on YouTube and look up Josh Pieters, Josh, and then the last name is Pieters, Pieters. And he did a documentary on this OnlyFans model, Lily Phillips. And this woman decided that for her OnlyFans account to kind of level herself up a little bit, I don't know, she was going to do an event where she slept with 100 men back to back in one day. And they would get 5 minutes on her. And obviously some of these people were not protected. She allowed them to pretty much fulfill their fantasy on her. So just lots of fluids. It was just disgusting, the end of the documentary, when the team came in. One dude was just gagging because she had so many, it was just rags all over the damn floor. Just like, I mean, y'all couldn't even clean this shit up in between sets. It was like really that rapid. It was like in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Like she's banging without breaks sometimes, right? And it's just, again, Satan, the way that he manipulates the psychology of people is just interesting. I think that we will continue to hear things that we cannot fathom. It just seems just so out of whack and grotesque. But this is the deviant world, the deviant portion of mankind's system that we're in. It's only going to degrade. It's only going to degrade.
And you made me pay for the cab. So So you say you're going to do some work today. Like, how are you going to decide what to film?
Choose
Any of the names in here?
like we used to go to school.
So her only job is, she
I just
creates sexual content. This is what she does.
Always going to sexualize me, so I may as well try and profit off that bit.
So she said that somebody's conditioned her. This sounds like somebody.
Real friends that really, and it's like picking at you. People, and that can definitely like.
Are there days where you second guess it ever?
Not particularly. There are days where I'm sat here on a Sunday. I am feeling a little bit more lonely. My friends have all got boyfriends. And I'm like, I see a comment and people are like, God, no one's ever going to marry you or something like that. And that can definitely like make me feel a little bit like, oh God, have I chose the wrong career? But like, I just totally love my job. But just like people talking about your body constantly, how you look, every day someone like picking at you. I think that's the hard part. And also just the pure fact that people think so much less of you. Yeah. Before anyone ever meets.
Mind you, she's conscious of these things. She's making the executive decision. And this is why, either there's a mental health issue going on here, or this woman has handlers, right? And she's been conditioned into a lifestyle, a mindset where she's constantly having to rationalize why it's good, why it's okay, right? And even though she sees that, from a normal public opinion, her basically objectifying herself in this manner is, makes her lower, right? She's like, I have to contend with that, and it's almost like it's a victimizing thing that we're hearing. But really, it's her not really realizing that if she has control over her entire life, that she doesn't have to have those sentiments. But obviously, the money is so good that she is like, I will deal with this ridicule. I will deal with looking like an object, a disgusting object, right? Because I'm making good money. And this is, the selling temple mentality that, okay, these guys are going to objectify me anyway, so I might as well just make money off of this.
Meets you, they already perceive you to be something. I think now I'd find it hard to make friends in terms of like real friends that really just see me for who I am and not like, gosh, like pop star online, whatever, this kind of like persona.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to be associated with people like this. And this is just the truth, right? They have their own crowds, right? So she's talking about it's hard for her to make friends. It's hard for you to connect with people who actually have values, because you're always going to be looking at the demon at the table, no matter how nice you want to come off, right? And this is just the manipulation of the devil. This woman comes off very nice. She comes off very sweet, very feminine, right? But the Jezebel inside of her is like, like you're not going to be able to make friends. You're not going to have a boyfriend like your friends do, because you are consumed with this spirit. You out here tricking, honey. You don't have the same luxuries and the same gifts as your normal woman, right? And so you're never going to be revered as a woman, like a normal woman who's not out there tricking. And that's what Lily is. She definitely is accepting this, but nevertheless, you can tell by her tone that it's not fully accepted. It's like it's something more come to terms with.
Also, just like all of social media, like everyone is preying on your downfall. Banks don't allow you to bank with them. Your Instagram's trying to get shut down. Like, it's just like the little things that's just like, no one likes what you do. And
because it's immoral.
Less of you, basically.
She said that even the banks won't even fuck with her. And to me, it's a lot of bankers that were tied up with Epstein. So that's kind of crazy, like how selective they are, right? But she's saying that even banks don't want to deal with businesses like this, sex businesses, right? So, I mean, there's definitely a downside to making these choices. She's making a whole lot of money, right? But now she's got to figure out how to layer her financial strategy because she can't just bank wherever she wants to because she's engaged in what a lot of people believe is just immorality. Like you are sex trafficking yourself. This is sex trafficking, right? This is sex trafficking. And we want to talk about Sean Diddy Combs, right? Drugging people, all this shit, right? Let's talk about this white woman in the UK who just possibly hosted a disease spreader event because people weren't wearing condoms. And even when she said that, oh, we asked people to take a picture of an STI test, people can fake those. They can do all kinds of things. She was not 100% sure that any of those guys were not carrying diseases. Like, and I don't understand why stuff like this would even be legal, where you can just kettle call a whole bunch of guys in to have unprotected sex with this OnlyFans person. Like, that just doesn't even seem like it should be legal. And now she's talking about she's going to do 1,000 guys in 24 hours. This is sad. This is sad, but it tells you the debauchery that has consumed the hearts of some of these people in the world, right? And she's looking like she's talking about this stuff like she knows it's not normal, but then again, it's been normalized to her. And her parents are okay and all cool with it because I'm pretty sure that normalization started with them, right? This girl has probably been with elite men her whole life, probably as early as 5, 6 years old, allegedly, possibly, right? Because she's reading elite sex trafficking victim in the way that she communicates, how she is just completely disassociated at times with this, but she's acknowledging the things about the negative aspects of this the entire way. And it does get into her feelings, but I don't think she's in control.
I see that you've kind of like taken on the word like and almost owned it in a way.
Yeah, 100%. I don't mind being called. I'm sleeping with 100 guys in a day. That is the definition of a Charlie.
Would you refer to yourself as a feminist?
Yeah. At the end of the day, doesn't feminists mean like you just want equal rights for boys and girls? And yeah, I do what I want and I do it because I enjoy it. I think there are obviously some women that maybe go into it because they have to or need the money and stuff like that, or they're kind of coached into it by men.
So she just said it. Some women go into it because they have to, they need the money, or they were coached by men. The have to portion comes from the parents, okay? These Moloch worshiping people, child sacrificing people who wants to maintain elite status by sacrificing their children to these debaucheries, selling their children to high elite men. You can imagine Lily Phillips was a very gorgeous little girl. You could tell that she was just probably a very pretty little girl. She probably was full of spirit prior to them taking her soul slowly but surely. We don't know which one Lily Phillips is, right?
Because I enjoy it. I think there
she's saying that she's enjoyed it, but she was conditioned probably to enjoy
because
it.
They have to or need the money and stuff like that, or they're kind of coached into it by men. But my personal experience is I've only ever felt empowered by the fact that I'm making money off something that I think guys will do anyway. Guys are always going to sexualize me, so I may as well try and profit off that bit.
So she's looking at him with the assuring eyes, like, you get it? Like she's not confident saying these things. Somebody has conditioned her to believe this, that men are always going to sexualize you, Lily. They're going to try to do it for free, right? So you might as well make money off of this, right? And the money that's coming in, Satan will get, the more debauched your life is, Satan will enrich you. Why do you think all these Hollywood elite stars and all these weird ass people, right, that we have been programmed to revere, right? A lot of these people are doing some really evil, wicked shit under the table. And they are aware of a lot of evil, wicked shit under the table, right? And Like, it really irks me because I was listening to some kind of Jamie Foxx was talking about something. I left at 9. Like, I left before no, you knew the weird shit was going on, right? A lot of these people trying to out themselves. Well, I left the parties early. Oh, you knew what? Why the fuck you leave the parties early? Because you knew what the hell was going on, right? And you didn't say anything because you're a coward, right? You listen to that victim, Allie Carter, who was in those elite sex trafficking rings, and there's a reoccurring theme here. These people knew. These people knew. These people knew. And even the ones talking about, I left the party early, that's a cop out to try to absolve themselves from being associated with the debauchery and the pedophilia that they know is going on in these parties. You know? But, again, the sex trafficking, sex debauch world is very interesting, right? Because this woman is sitting here robotically normalizing the decisions that she's making, all the while, acknowledging, that she can't have a normal life and it hurts her because her life choices, her career path choice has led her down this road where, people don't want to be associated with her. The minute men start looking at, oh, there's the cum rag of UK, right? Don't nobody want to see, and some men are just rude, right? They acknowledge her. They're like, oh, Ellie, they start doing all that crazy stuff. I don't want to be sitting next to somebody and somebody's gesturing at them like that. So no, nobody is going to want to just be kicking it with you out in public. Like, I'll come over your house, Lily, but I don't want to be seen out in public with you, Lily, because you are a whore. You're a human cum rag, right? And this is what some people sell themselves into. This is what some people sell their children into. So, my whole thing is with R. Kelly and all them young kids, how the hell did he get access to them? How the hell did these young kids have these pedophile grown-ups in some of these inner circles? How did they have access to these people's kids in the first damn place? Because their parents weren't shit. Their parents were Satanists who looked at a profitable opportunity prostituting their children. So there's a lot of children who have been prostituted into these elite circles.
I mean, not all guys are going to sexualize you.
I don't really know. I think I don't. I mean, I'm not, maybe not all guys, but would. I mean, I'm like a part of the problem. It's so hard because, like, doing extreme stuff like this is not normal. Like, and I think then guys are probably going to expect girls to maybe be as strong as me and sleep with this many guys and take it all big or do stuff like that isn't real life sex. It's kind of hard to wrap my head around.
But you do enjoy doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people forget it is my fantasy and this is what I enjoy. And so It's hard because you're like being selfish, but you're also not helping the situation.
I left Lily's house with more questions than answers. I still couldn't understand why she felt the need to do what she was doing, and whether it was truly what she wanted to be doing. I thought it might be helpful to hear the perspective of another OnlyFans creator, so I reached out to Alex Letitia, also known as the Queen of Southampton. So, now this is something I've wanted to know all day. Do I call you Alex or do I call you the Queen of Southampton?
Oh, either. No, you call me Alex. Basically, I went into OnlyFans because we were really, really broke. It was really...
So the reoccurring thing is, Satan knows how to get these young women when they are down. They were really, really broke, right? And the money is going to be the overarching theme here, right? This is a easy way to make money. In Satan's world, the easiest way to make money is take your clothes off, do something defiled and disgusting, and you will make money. Say something apostate like, and you will make money. It's so many ways to make money in Satan's world. You just have to sell your soul. You have to decrease your moral compass. You have to rationalize why doing something immoral is actually a moral thing to do in terms of your desperate situation, right? So Satan understands how to get people when they're down and desperate. Actually, that's the way that he prefers to get people. It's easier that way. So,
really last resort. I had never ever sent anyone a nude prior to this ever in my life. So I was so naive going into it. I started off just doing bikini pictures and lingerie, but it is a slippery slope. And the demand is more. Before you know it, you're having sex on camera.
And is that something you regret?
There's a lot I regret on there.
Do you feel scared that you might ever have to start doing things you don't want to do in order to keep that money coming in?
It is scary, yeah, because people are starting to do the most outrageous things online. I've seen so much of it lately.
and that tells you, like, outside of the content creators, you have the people who are indulging in these extreme things, these sad, maybe sexually depraved or debauched people, because that's really what I look at a lot of these people are. They're morally corrupted, depraved people, and they're looking for sensationalism. So for her, it's like it's not enough to just have bikini pictures. That doesn't really do a lot for a lot of these guys' fantasies. Now they want to see you doing something very, very extreme. So when you see these women on there and they're just doing things that people can't imagine people would be willing to do for the public or a public, right? It just tells you that they're under some kind of pressure on this OnlyFans platform to go dial the needle up, dial the needle up. Like it's like that lame ass dude who's a culture vulture, Adam 22, right? He let a man fuck his wife, right? This is what these people do, right? And it's like it seemed like, oh, he's a simp. But people will do anything for money, even prostitute their own damn wives for money, because that's basically what he did, was prostitute his wife and allowed him to have sex with another man, right? And specifically a black man, and he profited off of it. He was like living it up, right? That he was profiting off of another man sleeping with his wife.
My daughter's already getting stick for what I do. And like I said, I don't really do.
So she said her daughter is already getting, I don't know these little UK terminologies, but her daughter's getting flack because her mom is an OnlyFans model. Because these young boys are really the ones who haven't had sex yet, or the ones who nobody wants to have sex with. So the only way that they can actually have any type of interaction with a woman is their fantasies through OnlyFans, right? But she's already dealing with the recourse of her daughter, peers, I guess, giving her shit because her mom is an OnlyFans whore. And these people don't care about the kids. They don't care about their kids at all. It's like, look, I'm making money, so shut up. Right? But it's like, how are you making money, mom? Can't you just go out and get a certificate and just do something else outside of hoeing and tricking yourself, mom? But a lot of these women are like, no, that's too hard, right? I got some beauty on me and I'm just going to work with what I got and try to get some coins from that. And that's the resolve that a lot of women come to.
Anything controversial compared to all these other girls. And it just keeps being like leveled up and up and up of the expectations.
Well, on Saturday, I'm going to another OnlyFans creator, Lily Phillips, is planning to sleep with 100 men in a single day for OnlyFans content. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's really sad. I just worry about her mental health. I'm hoping it's a hoax and it's not gonna actually happen. I don't know. From what I've seen of her, I think she's like young and beautiful. I don't think she has to sleep with 100 guys in one day for attention. I don't know. It's like medically, is she going to be in a lot of pain? Mentally, you're going to be known as the girl that shot 100 guys in one day, and I think that's really sad. The problem is that when you sign up to objectifying yourself, it's like you're signing a deal with the devil. Like, no one is going to see you as a human being. it gets to the point where everyone objectifies you. That's the reality of it. You're like the cash cow.
Do you think
So
the kind of thing Lily's doing this weekend is the future of OnlyFans?
I hope it isn't, but we keep seeing so many sort of outrageous stunts. Maybe people assume they have to do that in order to get attention and followers. So it is just going to have to get more outrageous, which is quite scary if you think about it. Oh, I'm just worried about the smell for you.
The smell?
Yeah, I feel like the smell will be bad.
Thank you so much, Alex.
and boy was she right, because dude, when he got with Lily after to talk about the experience, she was in her feelings. So here we go. It was interesting, not just the Lily perspective, but some of these men. This man said that this was one of the most expensive sex sessions that he's ever had, right? He spent like, I think, over 2,000 euros to have sex with this woman. And it just tells you how pathetic a lot of these men are. They're socially, some of them have been so warped into the pornographic world that they don't really understand how to even like it's just it's sad. It's sad that these men will go out there and answer a kettle call to have unprotected sex with this OnlyFans woman that they have somehow like romanticized, right? They're not even thinking about their own safety. They're not even thinking about, like, I wonder what the psychology of a man is truly, who is willing to go and have sex with a woman right after about two other men have just literally had sex with her. Like the mentality, the trained mentality, men, that should be studied too, right? Because it's like you can't be that is a clear lack of control of your sexual desires and urges, or that's I've been so pent up that I just need to stick my thing in anything. And Lily Phillips is ideal because I've been following her, right? But I wonder what the disease rate is going to be after this. How many of these dudes are going to walk away and they're going to feel like their penis is going to fall off after putting it in this Jezebel? It's insane to me. Let me get to the comments. Like, if you've seen this documentary, let me know what you guys think. Because this is crazy. This is sad and crazy. This is the grossest thing that I've ever heard. And the fact that this woman now, because she probably made a lot of money with this kettle call, now she's talking about she want to do 1,000 men in one day. I mean, this is self-harming. This is self-harm. And that's like the best way that I can describe it is self-harming. And it just tells you that there's something bigger going on with this Lily chick. I think that she got handlers, and I think a lot of this stuff is stuff that she's been groomed into. Lily looks like a person that has been groomed to think the way that she thinks and do the things that she does, even if she operates with the contradiction. It seems like she has handlers. It seems like she has handlers. So,
Bye.
The whole thing, I think I'm realizing, is actually more mental than we originally thought. There are 100 men turning up to have sex with her for 5 minutes each in a single day. I mean, there's a decent chance that one of them is going to be dangerous. One of them might have a weapon, have a criminal record. A few of them will have STIs. Just on a basic statistic, you can know that a few of them are going to have STIs. So let's just hope those condoms are good ones. I had a sinking feeling that perhaps Lily hadn't fully thought through the challenge she was undertaking.
So 1 week before she goes into the big event, right? He wants to kind of understand where her head is and like what are some of the precautions that she's setting up to protect herself. And this was very interesting because it tells you that this woman was a siren call. This woman like literally put out a siren call for men to possibly get a disease that, because we don't even know what Lily never says in here that she took a STI test, right? Matter of fact, she was screwing and banging people the day before this happened, right? This is what this documentary is saying. So we don't know what the hell she was doing and what she caught as she was out there having sex with all these men.
How are we looking? We're 1 week away.
I think we've got about 50% of them confirmed.
And then you're checking that they've done an STI test?
Yeah, so prioritizing guys who have STI tests. They have to screenshot the results kind of thing. But this is the thing with it, like you can never 100% know if they've had an STI test. And even if they had, they could have slept with 10 girls in between the test and things like that. It's more just like, you know what you're getting involved in if you're willing to participate.
Are you going to kiss any of the guys?
So this is where it gets a little shaky for me, because Lily says, you know what you're getting involved in if you are willing to participate. So Lily is really letting these guys know that you're entering my vagina at your own risk, right? You already know that there's going to be at least, a whole bunch of other men. If you're not the first dude, if you're the first dude, you're like, great. Only thing I have to worry about is getting the disease from Lily, right? But now if you're the second dude, you got to worry about getting the disease from Lily, the first dude, right? And the cycle pretty much continues, right? So now you have these people who are participating in a train with a woman who has said you don't even have to wear condoms at all. This is a super spreader event. Absolutely. I don't even see how this could be legal. I don't even see how something like this could even be enabled on the OnlyFans platform. It tells you how much OnlyFans really care about these women. They're just whores. They're just objects. We're just trying to make our money. We don't give a fuck about what kind of risk these women are putting on themselves or the general public, because we're just focused on making money, right? And when you're selling your body, selling your temple, this is the recklessness that results in it. Like, she is being reckless on so many different levels, and she can't even speak confidently about the status of these people that she's about to let run into her. All she's putting out the disclaimer is, if you're willing to participate, you know what you're getting into. Beyond my vagina.
Definitely. I feel like some of them would be a bit put off, especially when they know I've just had like 57 guys inside me or whatever.
Why do you think that would put them off?
I think it's more if someone's to my face. I can imagine that's what's put another guy off.
So you would let these guys?
And what's nasty? It's like, she was like, it might put a guy off because I have like stuff on my face or whatever. It's like, so wait a minute. In between these guys that you're with, you're not even wiping off the previous guy's his fluids from you, Lily. You keeping the same dude. You just going one after another, and like, these dudes, they're not banging a clean Lily. They're banging this woman who has another guy's cum in her hair. Like, everybody involved is mentally ill to me. They're sad, pathetic people at best, right? To even want to be involved with something this disgusting on so many different levels. You have to be a man that has zero respect for yourself. You are a desperate, lonely person that nobody wants to authentically have sex with, for you to be willing to have sex with a woman who has another man's cum all over her face and in her hair, and you don't care. Disgusting.
In your face?
Yeah.
And in your mouth?
Yeah.
So they're in her face and in her mouth, and she's going to be kissing these guys. She's going to be kissing. He asked her, are you going to kiss him? She's like, yeah. As another guy. So, like, this is kind of like, this is, I mean.
Where it comes from? With spunk in the mouth?
It can.
Oh, really? See, I've never really thought about that.
So he's saying that, oh, you're gonna let these people come in your mouth. He's like, what if they have HIV? And she's like, oh, I didn't think you could really get it that way, you know. And here's the thing: if you got sores in your mouth, open sores, right? It's not gonna spread through saliva, but it could definitely spread through the cum that's in your mouth. You know, especially if you got mouth sores or something. It's one of those things where this woman really did not think about the health side of what she wanted to do. This is really like, I am taking the ultimate risk. It's almost like this is a woman who's taking a risk to get a disease. She's taking a gamble. If I'm going to get a disease, and if I come out banging 100 dudes and I'm disease free in 6 months, right? Then I was fortunate. But now she's talking about going back to back, adding 1,000 dudes. This is a super spreader woman, right? She is a disease spreader in the name of attention from this porn site. This is dangerous. This is so dangerous. Like, if I were, and I think that a lot of those dudes who canceled on her last minute, they probably had a second voice or reason, like, dude, they probably had a real dude friend, like, bro, she's gonna be taking in like all these other penises back to back because they get 5 minutes apiece. So it's like she can probably get at least 12 guys in an hour. 10 to 12 guys. So this is sad.
Last time when I did it, all of them could spin around.
She said last time she did
really
it, all of them.
I get like serotonin, like from when people are like, "Oh my god, you're that on the internet." Sounds crazy.
I know, and I know you're saying that to me right here, but I don't believe that.
Really?
No.
I kind of love like ruffling feathers a little bit, and people getting a bit like agitated by maybe the fact that people think I'm like so sad and stuff like that, but. That could not be like further from the truth. I don't think people realise like how happy this makes me. But I just think it's so funny and fun. I can't really put it into words.
Have you done anything to make sure there's not someone with a criminal record, for example?
No, she's talking about what she does make her happy, right?
Do you feel safe?
Yeah. I mean, pretty sure I could take on some 50-year-old guy. No, I think it'll be fine. I'd like to think that guys aren't there, so I don't know what they would do anyway.
It is London, like you've put out a public call, so technically anyone could come down as long as they were over the age of 18.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'd like to think someone.
You know, so early to film sex. I've never filmed sex, but you know.
Yeah, I had a squash pastry in the garden.
Okay.
With your job.
Lunch or anything? What do you think?
I think I'm gonna have a break. I think we get to about 12 and have a little
Okay.
breeze.
So they're getting all excited. Production started. I'm going to cut to the end here because after she goes through all of that, right?
I was like, I should not be an event planner. I should.
Now here's her.
I feel like she's
Now
gonna
I thought it was interesting because her production assistant. It was like, oh, you know, the production assistant's boyfriend was out there doing magic for the guys that were waiting to bang Lily. Production assistant was like, oh, it was a great networking event. We met so many people who do this business, and we're like, oh, you know, text us, you know, blah blah blah. We can do business. So I mean, again, Lily is a cash cow. She's a networking tool, if you will, because you can get a lot if you get like the right elite rich guy to want to bang Lily on camera, right? Some guys didn't want to show their faces, so they didn't want to be seen banging this chick. They just wanted the experience without being seen.
Gonna go on a lot later than we planned. We planned it to end
So
at, like,
it's
7,
going late. Now we can hear.
Really last minute, and we were getting messages today like.
Good. Yeah. Did you complete?
What's up?
Oh, yeah.
Lily's just in the shower now.
As the sort of brains behind this and managing the whole thing, how did you think it went?
Planning wise, it's a bit hectic.
For sure.
I didn't know what to expect. So many guys left it really last minute, and we were getting messages today like, can I still do it?
Yeah.
but we had so many people drop out.
Yeah.
So when I was like going through like, yes, can you make it to London today? And a lot of them were like,
So you have men who are dropping out to have sex with this girl, and they're desperate, right? Because they're like, we got to get 100 guys, right? Lily even said that she couldn't leave, or she couldn't even stop until they got to the 100, right? So that was the mission, and she had to stay the course even if guys dropped out. Now they had to find random guys that would be willing to do Lily, right, for this particular stunt.
like, yeah, that's fine. We're just like scrambling to get guys. So
We're scrambling to get guys. So at this point, if you're scrambling to get guys, you're not vetting these men. You're not vetting them. You don't know if they got diseases or not. At this point, you're just scrambling to get bodies in her ass. So I'm pretty sure somebody or people walked away with diseases. This was probably a super spreader disease
and then we come back in
event.
here and they've got the music on vibe and it was really nice. There were a couple of guys that Joe messaged me like, oh, I didn't really perform well. Can I come back? And we've been like, yeah, that's fine. And they've just like come back.
Oh, really?
Redeemed themselves because they've been like that nervous.
How do you think Lily found it?
I think, do you know, I've not had the chance to speak to her too much. She's been in there all day.
Yeah.
Because she's an object. She doesn't need to really speak to Lily. We were focused on how much money we were making from her ass. I haven't really talked to Lily, but we'll get in with her. She's in the shower right now.
And we've just like chucked her in the shower and like, she's exhausted. She's like, the first thing she said was like, I need a Nando's. I was like,
You've earned
the
Nando's.
Yeah, the Nando's is ordered. She's took it like a champ. She's done so well. Every time I said, are you okay? Do you need a breather? She's like, no, bring the next guy in.
Seeing 100 guys come to have sex with Lily in one day, was that like something that obviously...
That part didn't feel too intense. It was more checking in on Lily felt intense.
Yeah.
Now, the girl coming out like this, hello, hi, right? Like, the girl is just look like her soul has been sucked dry. Like, this is what Lily looks like at the end of this documentary. She looked like a mentally ill, sad woman in the beginning. Now she looks like her soul has been taken out of her. And I'm pretty sure it has been. You fucked 100 dudes.
Lily offered to show me the aftermath of their stunt.
This is...
What does it smell like?
Like, brace yourself. Brace yourself.
Oh, holy
I guess it...
He gagging and shit. And this is disgusting. And you're looking people in the eye. Talk about it stinks.
Is that real?
Yeah, he's not good with smells. Lily then walked us through the
Tissues
process that
all over the damn floor, on the dressers. Just, it was, to me, you have to think very low of yourself to do this. To literally, even when you finish and you look around the room and you see all these tissues of dudes who just... And nobody cleaned them up. Like, this is like, it's literally like using the bathroom. Like, these men went in, used the bathroom, so to speak, right? Wiped their things and just threw it somewhere, right? And I'm pretty sure that out of 100 men, there were some dudes that really talked disgusting to her and down on her and talked to her like the disgusting thing that they thought she was. I don't think all of that was graceful sex that Lily endured. And
come on in, make yourself at home, take your shoes off. I've got some hangers here if you want to put your coat up.
Nice.
Come on in, where you travel from today? Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you. I'll get you on the bed, make yourself comfortable,
Yeah.
take off your trousers, and we're going to have a fun time. And now give them the phone camera. I'll just say, I'm guessing you don't want your face in it.
Yeah.
And if they don't, it'll be POV phone camera.
I can't imagine what
I'll
her
start
insides
usually.
is going through. I mean, I can't imagine like what her insides are going through. Like, I mean, I can't imagine, the health stuff that she has going on inside. Her own psychological damage and her reputation are also an unfriendly future for her. Absolutely. I can imagine that this is going to trickle into her parents, though. Like, as much as she tries to protect her family, the internet is very unforgiving, and people are able to find out things about people, who, try to conceal themselves or be overprotected. I think that eventually it's going to trickle. If, let's just say, her parents do have a modest, sort of normal people circle, and they don't know that their daughter is out there doing this stuff, and now Lily's face is on tabloids. It's all over the internet. People are really talking about her now because obviously she went the distance having sex with 100 men, unprotected, right? And not only did she do that, she took it upon herself to document, the event from start to finish, like 1 month at least before the event. She's going around trying to humanize herself as, oh, I'm just a woman who loves sex and it's normal and guys are going to objectify me anyways. So I might as well make money. And sometimes it's very hard for me because people, I don't have, it's hard to have a boyfriend, and people say that they're not going to marry, nobody's going to marry you. All of this stuff she's acknowledging, but it's like a disassociation, right? It's sad. Good morning, amateur. I see you. I'm so happy for her. Everyone deserves to be happy. Everybody deserves to be happy, but it's like this doesn't look like a happy person. This looks like a person who is rationalizing a lifestyle that she has to participate in, that she likely was groomed in. And that's the sad. She looks like somebody who was groomed.
Say, like, is there anything you like, don't like, any certain position you want to do?
Yeah.
And then, we kind of got straight into it.
Did you do the with a condom on, or?
No,
No,
I didn't. Condom off.
Okay,
Condom off.
but then, like, once they're having sex, and it's like
Condom
on type thing.
Yeah.
It does smell a lot like sex. I mean, and there's Rose. That's nice.
Rose.
And how are you feeling?
Surprisingly, downstairs is not really sore.
Okay.
It's more just tired. My eyes sting like nothing else.
Why?
Because of all the cum in it. I think I repeatedly said, you come on my face, but not in my eye.
And they just went right at the eyes.
Well, I think like it might have been an accident. But no, I mean, I've definitely seen some spunk today, Jesus. And it just took definitely a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I think it was when it was only like 40 and I was like, I'm not even halfway yet.
Yeah.
And 40 is still a lot of people. Like, imagine 40 people and be like, I'm not even halfway, like, done.
When was the last time you ate?
I think I had a yam yam. Yam yam, is that what they're called? A little pastry. And I think I had a sandwich, and that was kind of, and then the rest come. It's not for the weak, girls, if I'm honest. It was hard.
So she was just eating.
I don't know if I'd recommend it.
Why not?
I think if you're a different type of girl, it's very like, it's kind of like being a pro in a sense of like, it's just a different feeling. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
It's not like just having sex with someone.
yeah, just one in, one out. Like, it feels intense.
Like more intense than you thought it might.
Definitely.
Sorry.
Now she crying. All right, so you set yourself up to do this shit, right? I think that dude who's running this documentary, he was trying to kind of, get more of an understanding of her moral compass. She seemed to be sticking to her guns, going the distance, right? Now afterwards, right? She's crying, right? And, she's going to say that she's crying because there were some dudes that was like, well, you said 5 minutes and it's only been 2, right? And I think, what she really wanted to say was some of these guys looked at me as an object, right? I think that many of those guys who participated in that activity, it wasn't that like embracing having sex with Lily, pornographic type of thing. It was really like, Lily, you ain't shit, and I'm just sticking my in something that's not shit. So I think a lot of these guys objectified her, right? And they even told her like, really, like, you doing all this shit, and they weren't satisfied with her either. Like, and that made her cry too. But again, after you done fucked all these dudes, you're not really going to be satisfying anybody. You're literally going to be a dead lay. And I feel like at some point, Lily just was a dead lay to a lot of those dudes. Like, I'm pretty sure after the 30th guy, if anything, probably even less than that, Lily just became a dead lay. She was probably, doing the normal, but her energy levels were probably low. So the sex for each guy towards the end was probably worse and worse, right? Because at this point, you're awful, right? And this is what she's crying about, that these guys paid for something and I wasn't able to deliver it to them because I was probably tired as hell, exhausted, didn't really eat that damn much, and you running sex marathons on your whole ass with these dudes.
I think I was when I talked to you last, like I was not nervous. It was like the day before. I was like, oh, I'm so nervous. But it was good. It was more, I guess the interactions weren't like, I'd have to stop them early and like, you'd have to stand on business and be like, I'm so sorry, you got to go. And like the awkward interaction of like you feeling pressure to have to make them come if like you haven't spent enough time.
So basically, Lily couldn't even make some of these dudes come, right? So she's crying like, I'm feeling pressure to help them make them come, right? Right? And if they're not, if their time is up and you kind of leave a dude blue, he's not going to be very happy, right? So he came in here to be able to just have this wild experience. But again, depending on what number he was, like if he was number 57, 9 times out of 10, if Lily out here just going the distance, fucking these guys back to back, she's a dead lay. I'm pretty sure some of these dudes, if they were to come forward, I'm pretty sure many of them are shamed to even say that they participated in that, because everybody gonna be looking at them like, you probably got a disease, you nasty as hell, right? Not a lot of guys want to put their face on Lily, right? And that's why some of them didn't even want to show their faces. And she says this.
Time with them and feeling like they didn't, like you didn't give them a good time because like they only got 2 minutes.
And that's what's making you feel emotional, is that maybe you think you didn't give some guys a good enough time today?
Yeah, and it's hard, I think, having the interactions with them when they're like, what, you're not going to make me finish, I've come all this way, like, kind of like...
Right, because they're like, bitch, I came here for one thing, to come, and as opposed to me jacking off and looking at you on OnlyFans, this is my opportunity to just do it on you, and I need you to basically make that happen. But again, it's like she even said, like, after a while she tuned out. It was like a robotic thing that she was doing. She don't even remember the faces of these dudes, most of them, because it was just a robotic thing that she was doing. So if you're getting robotic at some point during your sex game, you're a dead lay. You're literally just a dead lay to these guys. And a lot of guys probably were disappointed because they thought that they were going to be getting all illustrious, like sexual, let me get up in you, Lily. And Lily was like, oh, come on, legs up, your turn, get your 5 minutes in. It probably got like that for Lily, right? Because again, it's not normal to have this much sex in one day, but it's and it's not healthy either, right? But off of that, you're having sex with multiple different types of men. So, I mean, you can kind of, gauge that she probably had this small penis dude that's going to try to work his magic as much as he can. So he probably trying to bang the shit out of her so she can feel something, right? But he ain't even scratching the walls, right? And then you probably have those mandingo dudes that was just like, I'm about to pound it out of you. So she's probably dealt with like all kinds of different dudes in this session of these random guys that she invited from her OnlyFans to come out and have sex with her. There might have been that random dude that was like, oh, I want to make love to you, Lily. And so you probably gave her a great experience. Then you have the inexperienced dude who was probably like, I don't know what to do with myself and this is way too exciting. So he's probably coming all over the place within 2 minutes and she's feeling pressured to give him 5 minutes. It's like, Lily, if you're gonna have like something going on like this, honey, you got to set the standards. It's either you get up to 5 minutes or to the point that you come. That way it takes the pressure off of you, Lily, right? To make them come. If you don't come within the 5 minutes, yo bad. If you come in 2 minutes, yo bad. But you got to get the fuck out so we can get the next guy in here. We're running a business here, Lily. We're running a business, girl, right? So that's kind of where she should have been with that, right? But she's crying because obviously there were men that came all the way out there to see her ass, bang her ass, and she was not satisfying to them.
They're like guilt tripping me a little bit.
They're guilt tripping her.
Like some people just travel so far. Like I didn't want to give them the shit time and like come away from this and be like, oh, that was shit. I think sometimes like feeling so like robotic, like by I think like the 30th, you know, like when we're getting on a bit, I've got like a routine of like how we're gonna do this, and like it just sometimes you like disassociate and be like, you know, like
she disassociated, right? Because this is, as much as she want to say she likes it, this is my thing, I love it. You know, this woman is being handled by somebody. She's being prostituted by somebody. She's probably not even making the most money off of what she's making on OnlyFans. Her handler or whoever is managing her is probably making the most money while she's taking the most personal and physical damage, right? But she even said it gets robotic and disassociative. This does not sound like somebody who just loves banging people, right? This doesn't sound like she's sitting up here crying, right? Somebody's handling this girl. I truly believe that this is a sex trafficking victim. This woman was groomed into this lifestyle, and they understand that Lily is a cash cow. Lily is incredibly beautiful, right? And it's unfortunate that she has defiled her temple this way, because I could see a banker picking her ass up no problem. Like, I mean, she doesn't seem like a hype squad, arrogant type of woman. She seems like somebody who has been her soul has been robbed for a very long time, right? So, just like the young lady who got out of the elite sex trafficking ring, the guy who bought her out of it, he told her, "You're never going to be famous, right? You live a low-key life. You go to New York or somewhere else and you marry a banker and you be a normal woman," right? That's how she was able to get out of the elite sex trafficking ring, right? Somebody's going to have to save Lily, and it's like they're going to have to take the gamble to save her because she's probably full of diseases. This woman is probably full of diseases. And now, after all of this, she's talking about she's moving the needle. Sleeping with 100 guys in one day was only the warm up. Now she's about to level it up so that she can beat the world record and sleep with 1,000 men in one day. So, you know, I don't. This is Satan's world, y'all. This is Satan's world. So it's just, the stuff is not fathomable to me, but I understand it too. This is sad, you guys. This is sad. You said her mom and friends helped her set it up. Such a tragedy. That's what I'm talking about. You said it's her mom. Usually it is the mom that sells the daughters into the prostitutions, because a lot of times the moms are jealous of the daughters. A lot of times, some of these moms are jealous of their daughters. A lot of times, the mom would be like this mediocre yuck face, but somehow she was able to have this beautiful daughter that's enchanting. And, you know, a lot of these people, they sell their children very young into these elite sex trafficking rings. And I believe that Lily is one of those kids. I believe that she was groomed. I think Lily was groomed to think like she is. There's a reason why she's saying, my parents, you know, they knew what I was doing. They just wanted me to be safe and make good decisions, right? So they knew that Lily was out there prostituting herself, right? They just probably like, okay, you're taking it up a level more now, and you are going to be on this internet and you're going to be doing this so everybody and their mama will have access to you. She even talked about her dad's friends, right, in this documentary, right? They were, you know, coming at her, giving her money and stuff. So this is sad on so many different levels, because I do believe, as much as, you know, I see people like Lily, she's a whore, she's a whore, she's a whore. I see the harlot, right? She's been a trained harlot. But at the core of some of these young women, you know, I have empathy for them. I really truly have empathy for some of these women because they have been groomed to be these harlots that they are. They have been groomed by their parents. They have been groomed by somebody trusted to think like they do. And even she said, oh, well, no, some people, they have to do it because they need the money. Some people, they're made to do it. The people who are made to do it, these are the people who were groomed from a very early age to serve that purpose among elite people as being an object to these people. So Lily's has been an object probably all of her life, and that doesn't necessarily mean that just because you're something all your life that it doesn't play with your psychology, that the conflicts of what you're doing and what it seems right, you're always going to be in contradiction. So this woman clearly looks like she's in contradiction. She actually does look very sad and tormented, but at the same time, somebody is convincing her you are making hundreds of thousands of dollars every month doing what you're doing, right? Most women would love to do this, and even, men are going to objectify you no matter what. So you might as well profit from their objectification. And this is kind of the attitude that you see among these women these days, these feminist type women, where it's like, well, the guys are going to do this anyway, so I might as well be out here tricking, selling my soul, selling my body. You know what I mean? And profiting off of their objectification of me. But at the end of the day, these women become exactly that. They just become objects. They become human dildos, human blow up dolls to these men. And that's it. And they know it. That's why Lily was probably upset, because she wasn't able to please these men. All of these men at some point in that whole sexcapade, she wasn't able to please him. So let me know what you guys think. I'm about to get off of here. This is really sad. I agree with you, Brian. It's demonic, but we're going to pray for these people. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye. Am I frozen? Uh-oh. Or what's going on? Oh, but anyways, you guys, I'm going to catch you on the next one. Check out that documentary. It's not for the light of heart. It's actually very, very sad. But we're going to pray for these people, pray for their souls, pray that they get to some point of understanding and repentance. And that's all we can do for these folks, y'all. That's all we can do for these folks. So you guys have a wonderful day, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.